British parliamentarians are reported to be among the scores of politicians from around the world identified as holding offshore assets in tax avoidance schemes. It follows the leak of more than 11 million documents from the Panamanian law firm, Mossack Fonseca. The information was passed to the German newspaper Suddeutsche Zeitung and has been shared through the International Consortium of Investigative Journalists, ICIJ, with 107 media organizations in 78 countries including The Guardian and BBC's Panorama. Among the reported disclosures are a suspected £1.4 billion money laundering ring run by a Russian bank and said to involve close associates of President Vladimir Putin. In Britain, the paper said there were 6 members of the House of Lords, 3 former Conservative MPs and dozens of donors to UK political parties who have been shown to have had offshore assets, although none have so far been named. HMRC Director General of Enforcement and Compliance Jenny Granger said they had approached the ICIJ for access to the material. She said, "HMRC can confirm that we have already received a great deal of information on offshore companies, including in Panama, from a wide range of sources, which is currently the subject of intensive investigation. We have asked the ICIJ to share the leaked data that they have obtained with us. We will closely examine this data and will act on it swiftly and appropriately. Our message is clear: there are no safe havens for tax evaders and no one should be in any doubt that the days of hiding money offshore are gone. The dishonest minority, who can most afford it, must pay their legal share of tax, like the honest majority already does." Others who have been caught up in the disclosures include Icelandic Prime Minister Sigmundur Gunnlaugsson, who is facing calls for his resignation over claims he had an undeclared interest in his country's bailed-out banks. In China, the families of at least 8 current and former members of the supreme ruling Politburo had been found to have hidden wealth offshore. And 23 individuals who had had sanctions imposed on them for supporting the regimes in North Korea, Zimbabwe, Russia, Iran and Syria were said to have been revealed to have been clients of Mossack Fonseca. While there is nothing illegal about using offshore companies, the disclosures are likely to lead to fresh calls for international reform of the way tax havens are able to operate. In response to the allegations against Mr. Putin, his spokesman Dmitry Peskov dismissed the investigation as an undisguised, paid-for hack job and warned Russia had legal means to defend his dignity and honor. The BBC said Mossack Fonseca had claimed it had operated beyond reproach for 40 years and has never been charged with criminal wrongdoing. Oxfam has called on the UK, which is hosting an international anti-corruption summit next month, to take a lead in cleaning up a system which was hurting some of the world's poorest people. Oxfam's head of UK policy, Richard Pyle, said, "This leak highlights the key role that UK-linked tax havens like the British Virgin Islands play in allowing a privileged elite to dodge paying their fair share of tax. People in the world's poorest countries pay the highest price for the billions of lost tax money when their governments are unable to fund life-saving healthcare such as midwives and vaccinations for children."